Okay, trustees, we are live. We are recording. Phone lines are opened. Go for it.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the East Hampton Town Trustees for July 14th, 2025. And I'd like to open with Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Arlene, can you do roll call, please?
Yep, certainly. John Aldred.
Here.
Francis Bach.
Here.
David Cataletto. Patrice Dalton.
here,
Ben Dollinger. Jim Garneau. Jim Grimes.
Yes.
Hi, Jim. Celia Josephson.
here.
And William Taylor.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Matt, do we have anybody on the phone lines?
You have 0 calls on the line. Thank you.
Thank you. Trace, can I have that? So we'll start with public comment. Richard Caruso for Lionhead Beach Association.
Good afternoon, trustees, or good evening, should I say. Rich Crusoe from LK McLean Associates on behalf of the Lionhead Beach Association, here to discuss the bulkhead replacement project. It's a very simple, about 223 linear feet of bulkhead replacement in place, just 18 inches higher than existing. On the northern side, we're going to have a repair of the bulkhead with a whale and an anchorage system, and the restoration for the bulkhead on the southeastern side is going to be planted with beach grass plantings at 1 foot on center. Last week, we just received the DEC permit, so at this time we have all permits in place between DEC, Army Corps, DOS, and then the planning board. So we're all set on that end, and that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple project, a little bit of gravel restoration there as well.
You mean planning board or CBA?
The planning board, Town of East Hampton Planning Board, the expedited NRSP.
Oh, I'm not.
And then I think we just need the building permit, lastly.
I've actually met with Mr. Caruso some months ago, walked through this. This is pretty straightforward. It's a replacement in kind. And as he mentioned earlier, just raising the bulkhead up 18 inches, which has pretty much become a standard. I didn't see any issues with it.
It's just on the inlet side, or does it wrap around?
It's on the inlet side,
Yeah.
and then on the outside, on the northern face, there's some repairs to the existing bulkhead.
The sheeting is to remain. We're just going to replace the well and the anchorage system.
The side facing the creek is to remain the same?
The side facing the creek is going to be in place, but just 18 inches higher. I believe some sections adjacent to it were already raised on previous construction, so we're just going to be basically meeting that.
That's,
Going all the way?
no, this was already done. It's just, I forget where it picks up. It's just this section in here.
What about the Clearwaters? Have they raised theirs and done theirs recently? Do you remember?
I don't see what that has to do with this.
No, just curious.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm honestly, because you did that other section. Were you guys involved in that?
I'm honestly not sure. I personally
Okay.
wasn't, but
Okay, because there's that section along the boat slips, which was replaced a few years ago.
right.
And this is just an extension of
Yeah, it's
that.
just like a continuation.
But on Clearwater, I don't know. I think they had done some
I
bulkheading.
thought there was some recent work there.
Yeah, anyway.
When you use that new material, is it PVC or whatever,
What's that? The
for the bulkhead?
sheeting? We're just going to do steel.
Yeah. Will it have this member here as well, or is it straight up and down?
We'll have a whale as well,
Oh,
yes.
well,
Yeah.
okay.
I believe if you flip to the section on the following pages, you can see the elevation of the well. It's actually going to be lower than the existing one,
Okay.
or it looks like just about, actually, just about where the existing is.
Are you going to excavate any soil, any sediment removal, or,
From the seaward side?
right?
No.
Any questions I have? Take a peek here.
And as mentioned, there's some like beach grasses. We'll just be replacing anything on the southeastern side with native plantings at 1 foot on center.
Replacing corn. In your,
Okay. So we're ready to
I'd like to make a motion to
a
approve.
second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Did someone second it? I didn't hear it.
Trees. And there's no need for conditioning this on changes DC or anybody might make. They've got all their other permits, so we're in.
Yeah, we just received DECs as well last week.
So,
That's
All set. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is it okay if I head out this one?
Sure.
Have a good evening.
you too. Hey, thanks.
All right, we have a request from Scott DeBriner of Inner Science Associates to renew trustee permit BEA 1-24 for revetment.
Yeah, this is the old Kelly Klein house
Right.
and
West End Road. Yeah.
West End Road.
Yeah.
They've had their permits. They've been waiting on other permits. The permit's getting ready to expire. I think they have all of their permits. What happened is they got them too late to start on any of this work before plover season. So this is just a simple, straight up renewal.
I remember when he presented, I
Yeah, he asked if we wanted them to come tonight. I didn't see
didn't see a problem with
the
that.
need.
Well, we already issued this permit and now it needs a renewal, right?
Yeah, that's all.
no,
Yeah.
You want to make the motion?
we'll make a motion, we renew this permit.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. It's a 1 year permit.
Yes.
Okay. Flying through, powering of solar clams. Request from Bayman to renew our program from 2025 to 2026. John?
Yeah, we received a request from one of the Baymen, asking if we were going to renew our powering permits. We expressed interest that we would do that. I think there's also some interest in Lake Montauk, which isn't our jurisdiction, but I think because a couple of years ago, there was some complications between our setting scallop season based on the DEC's opening of the scallop season and the town failing to change the town code or set up a special scallop season that year. There was the scallop season in Lake Montauk opened earlier than ours did, and then the states did, and that caused a little bit of consternation. So I think that there's also, as I said, an interest in getting a powering season going in Lake Montauk, but they wanted the town, I think Tim Treadwell wanted to make sure there was, if the town acted, that there would be a consistency between the trustees' terms and the town's terms for powering. Not that it really matters, but I think that's just their interest.
Well, I did today, I spoke to a few people I know who clam on a regular basis. And they have friends who are baymen and they help support this, the program that we have today.
And John, the language, I took a glance over that. It was the same language as last
The
year. You
same,
I-
just the dates were changed.
I'd make a motion, we approve it,
A second.
the resolution, but you're gonna need to read it.
Yeah.
And that we forward it right over to Tim Treadwell and see if the town, give them time to align there.
Yeah.
There's one little caveat. If, the way I wrote the dates, assume that we could get the first, it needs a 2-week notice and public notice. The assumption of for the way the dates were injected into the resolution is that we could get the first notice in this week. If that can't happen, all the dates will have to be moved back 1 week. So I thought if we pass this resolution, I can make a subsequent motion to that effect. And
All right.
Without having to,
Go back to a meeting on this. I think I agree.
Usually Monday at noon is the deadline, correct? So maybe we could get a special exemption from the Star to,
Yeah, you can ask. I'll-
Give it to Chris and he can drop it off.
yeah,
on the way
exactly.
home. Sorry, you're not in my
I
department.
was looking right at him.
it's his job. And just to preface this, there was some questions from some of the board members about past compliance with our terms in the last year's resolution, that reporting be done. So Arlene looked into the records and we only issued 3 permits last year. 2 of the permit holders filed written reports. The third one filed a verbal report, which is basically didn't find anything and didn't go out, so.
The reason I was asking that was because I know these guys. Sorry?
Francis asked
Okay, well,
us.
I asked as well. And the reason why I asked was, I know the guys that I know, they're not really bookkeepers. So if you don't ping them like at the end of the year and say, I need the report, I don't know if they're going to remember.
Yeah, we discussed that in the office today, but apparently they did last year.
They
I don't
did.
think they were reminded, so.
But and then the other issue I have, or the other question I have is, why do we collect data when we're not using it for anything? So if we need them to do this, I would simplify it for them and say, was it like under 10, whatever, whatever number in units you want, but make it simple for them. And we say it's confidential, so,
I think, we're kind of letting them tell us what we weren't
specific, right? We weren't,
So
and
I
we just said,
think
report it back to us.
But when this started, we were interested because soft clams seemed to all but disappear.
Right.
And so we were interested in finding out if they were just in deeper waters or, so that's the reason we wanted them to report it back to us. Not that we're going to issue the information to the
Correct.
general public, but,
Right, it's like a casual chicken.
right, but it's
Right.
part of the agreement and they should be
Yeah.
held to it.
They did receive, just to remind you all, they did receive a piece of paper with their permit that was for them to utilize to report to us
Right,
with like their name, what they found and what harbor. So it was fairly simple. There wasn't, a ton of complication to it.
Seems to
Let's
work
bring a
out,
copy.
I suppose it did. They didn't get into any huge amounts or anything, right?
No, not in trustee waters. Evidently, there's something that was been found in the lake, but that's going to be up to the town to bat around.
Is there still any soft clams at the north end of Napeak Harbor?
Probably. I don't know. if anybody's
You know, it
done
wasn't a
any-
powering spot because it's too shallow.
It was a powering spot
Yeah,
for some years, yeah.
yeah, because the only time I ever got it was that it was real close to shore. Just,
Yeah, there was hand digging there, and then there was powering there a couple of years. I don't think there's been anything like, I don't know if anybody tried it last year. I didn't hear.
We used to get them all in the Springy Banks area.
So I guess, I just think if we want to collect data, we need to think about the level of quality of the data that we want. Like, we go through this all the time with the citizen science projects. We're collecting, it's, sampling water, and we haven't trained anybody, and we get all different kinds of questions, different kinds of data replies. And then we realize we have to be more specific. I don't think this warrants more than what they're providing. Even though it's sort of,
Yeah, we're not asking for a lot.
no, we're not asking for that. And so it's just,
Why don't you take a look at what we
I
have
did.
and take a look at the sheet that they'll be given?
Yeah.
And, if you think that they could be given some guidance in that sheet that would be helpful, different information or more information, then we can.
No, definitely, I'd be happy to do that. Because I think making it easy for people is the best thing.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Take a breath.
Following resolution was unanimously adopted by the trustees, freeholders, town, commonality of the town of East Hampton. Whereas section 213-10B of the town code prohibits the taking of shellfish in any manner other than by hand power. Whereas section 213-16B of the town code prohibits the taking of soft clams between May 1st and August 31st of each year. Whereas section 213-18 of the town code recognizes the trustees' authority to alter the methods, equipment, permissible dates for the taking of shellfish in such areas as the trustees shall designate. And whereas section 213-8 of the town code authorizes the trustees to issue special permits entitling holders to take shellfish from designated areas under certain conditions, and as set forth in chapter 213-18, whereas the Bayman Town of East Hampton have requested that the trustees authorize the taking of soft clams or razor clams by holders of commercial shellfish permits from trustee waters by the method known as churning or powering. Whereas in the past, the trustees have received similar requests and been advised that churning performed properly will result in little impact of a harmful and or serious nature, and that it's possible that sets of bivalves in the target area could be advantaged, as the churning impacts may tend to reduce predator populations. And whereas the trustees have authorized the taking soft clams by powering or churning on a number of occasions in the past, and those experiences have not been proven to be detrimental to the shellfish populations or the environment, yet it is beneficial to the economic well-being of those who rely upon town shellfish resources for their livelihoods. Whereas to limit any harmful impact on other users and to maintain a sustainable fishery, the trustees shall place a restriction on churning or powering, one, at any time within 100 feet on either side of a road end or other vehicle access point to a harbor or kayak wreck area. Two, at any time, any area containing eelgrass or widgeon grass, plus areas seeded with oysters within the past 3 years, clams within the past 5 years, and scallops within the past year, as delineated in seeding maps published by the East Hampton Town Shellfish Hatchery. Now therefore be it resolved. One, notwithstanding the permissible dates and methods for the taking of soft clams set forth in sections 213-10B and 213-16B of the town code, Trustees hereby designate and approve the following special season and designated areas for the harvesting of soft clams or razor clams by the method known as churning or powering between sunrise and sunset on all Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays during the period commencing August 11th, 2025, and ending December 31st, 2025, inclusive, in all trustee waters certified for shellfishing, except within 100 feet of a road end or other vehicle access trail or kayak rack area, and at any time in any area containing eelgrass or widgeon grass and oyster gardening location, or any area seeded by the East Hampton Town Shellfish Hatchery with oysters within the past 3 years, with hard clams within the past 5 years, and with bay scallops within the past year, as delineated on seeding maps published by the town shellfish hatchery. Two, only persons who possess a valid applicable Town of East Hampton commercial shellfish license shall be eligible to participate in the special season described in paragraph 1. The special season shall be subject to such conditions, rules, and regulations as the trustee shall impose thereon. 3, by the authorization of and under the conditions set forth in section 213(8) of the Town Code, special permits, the trustees will issue special permits to otherwise eligible persons to participate in the special season described herein. Pursuant to section 213(8)B, application for a special permit may be made between July 28th, 2025 and August 8th, 2025 at the trustee office, 267 Bluff Road, Amagansett, New York, 11930, during normal business hours. Applicants must produce their valid Town of East Hampton commercial shellfish license and a New York State driver's license or other New York State identification. And pursuant to section 213(8)B2, applicants must, at the time of application, execute a sworn statement under penalty of perjury that the applicant has not been convicted of a violation of this chapter or of former chapter 125 within 1 year prior to the application therefore. 4, anyone found guilty of violating chapter 213 or the former chapter 125 within 1 year prior to the date of application shall be ineligible for a special permit. Further, the trustees will strongly recommend to the court that it revoke the special permit for any special permit holder subsequently convicted of a violation of section 213 or the former chapter 125. 5, the special season shall authorize the taking of soft clams or razor clams by the technique known as churning or powering with a propeller, and only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays during daylight hours, only during the time frames and in the areas specified in paragraph 1. No other out-of-season method of taking is authorized. 6, no permit holder shall take more than 2 bushels of soft clams or razor clams per day from any or all of the areas described in paragraph 1. All clams so taken shall be placed in either wire or plastic bushel baskets. No person shall possess any quantity of soft clams and/or razor clams that do not fit flush within the said baskets. 7, any boat containing soft clams and/or razor clams in trustee harbors on days when churning or powering is permitted shall be subject to inspection by the trustees or the harbor master. 8, a record shall be kept by each special permit holder of the quantity of soft clams and/or razor clams harvested by location and date. This record, which will be confidential and for the purpose of trustee understanding of the state of the resource only, shall be supplied to the trustee office at the end of the permit period, either by hard or electronic copy, and no later than December 31st, 2025. 9, all other provisions of Chapter 213 shellfish shall remain in effect within the areas designated in this resolution. And be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect upon the filing of the same with the East Hampton Town Clerk and posting as set forth in Section 213-18 of the Town Code, and shall expire at sunset on December 31st, 2025. By order of the trustees of freeholders and commonalty of the town of East Hampton, Francis J. Bach, trustee clerk.
Can you repeat that?
It's not what we have in our binder.
There's a page missing in mine,
Yeah.
actually.
It's a couple pages, yeah, 1 or 2 pages.
Yeah.
So it sounds like all that discussion of legal violations is new. It's not in
No, we had that before.
I think
We
it
did,
just,
and I
I think it
don't
just
see it in
missed
this
a
one.
page.
Yeah, no, it was in last year.
It sounds like it printed incorrectly.
Yeah.
It skipped,
Yeah, we printed it
I
for some
skipped the
reason.
back.
I'll send you the previous ones. I'll send
It was
everyone.
sent to everybody earlier today, but we can.
I'm very good with this. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have one additional motion to make here. The dates that are in this resolution assume that the public notice can get into the paper starting this week. If that's not possible and they can't get in till next week, all the dates in this
Will shift a
resolution
week.
will shift back 1 week. So I'd like to make a motion
I'll
that
second that.
trustees are good with that.
We're still gonna do all the other ways of posting it, right?
I believe it's the paper and the clerks, on the clerk's board. Yeah. So you made a motion. Is there a second?
Yeah, there was.
No, you made the motion, I
You
second.
made the motion, you said all in favor?
So,
Thanks, John. All right,
Brilliant work, by the way. I'm serious.
You like that copy and add dates? Paste?
I'll tell you what, it's pretty freaking word. Man. Someone showed a lot of this.
I think some of that wording goes back quite a few years.
I know.
How do people know about this? You know,
It's too late. It's too late. We voted on it.
No, I'm just curious, like, how did they know? Because it seems like
Believe me, they
not
know.
many people are doing this.
No, they know. The people that have an interest are well aware of it. And, first time we did it, there was significantly more interest
Yeah.
than the subsequent year because honestly, there wasn't that much.
I got indications of interest today. I just think,
Okay. I'm sure that same person would be interested in
I
that.
mean, I think, the only way we can make people know is through our meetings
I know.
and the postings. That's what the postings are supposed to do.
how do people feel about contacting the people that have had a permit already?
No, I think,
It's up to them.
Thank you. Sorry to ask that.
I think, one, you're not a trustee. Two,
I think they'll discuss it through word of mouth.
yeah. No, the guys that do it or have an interest in it
Yes.
have already discussed this amongst themselves. So it works pretty well.
Have the Bonnet Telegraph will take care of it.
It's amazing how fast everybody
It'll
knows.
be in this article.
Yeah. That's if he drops that notice off in time. No, it's not your job at all.
You have a key to the building, yeah.
All right, so next one is consideration to set a fee scale for non-resident commercial moorings. Here's the story. This guy, Adam Iorio, he's a commercial bayman from Long Beach.
Yeah,
He has one of these county leases
okay.
down off Cedar Point.
Yeah.
So he's looking for mooring inside Northwest Harbor.
It was 3 miles.
Is it 3 miles?
Hands Creek,
Hands Creek.
looks like.
It's 3 mile?
Correct.
Okay,
I don't think there is any room in
that's,
Northwest.
yeah. We don't have a non-resident commercial mooring fee or application. So,
Is there a concern that by granting this particular kind of permission, that it would encourage too many people not from the area to moor in our waters?
well, I know there's a group of people who have that concern.
I think that there's provision for out-of-town recreational mooring.
Right. But this is commercial.
There's different fee for resident and non-resident. There's no provision for, there's only a provision for, or there's only an assumption that's ever been made that a commercial mooring is for, the assumption has always been it's for town commercial fishermen. No one's ever asked for,
Well, that's sort of why I asked the question, do we want to sort of set a precedent saying people from out of town who are commercial can
I think the
moor in our
difference
waters?
here is the fact that he's,
Towards the non-resident
you would,
residential permit and just keep the same fee schedule for that.
yeah, I mean, if, I think we can't, well, I guess we could, but we could get a out of town, or, a non-resident recreational permit, which is $30 a foot. It's a 22-foot boat, so it's $660 for that boat.
Yeah.
The commercial fee is $100.
Ah,
So I
but
think
that's
we,
just for residents?
It's just for residents.
that's for
I don't think-
non-resident.
But,
No, that's
so
for
I'm
resident.
trying to find out
No,
whether
yeah.
there's an existing category already
Well,
for
there-
non-resident.
No,
No.
So that was just
Well,
my
we discussed
concern, is that do we want to set a precedent and have others make this request?
Size limits on it.
I don't
Size
see,
limits.
I don't see who we'd be advantaging except out-of-town commercial fishermen coming into East Hampton
And that's going to start a war.
to fish. And they couldn't fish in town waters anyway,
Oh, okay.
because I don't think there's any provision for
non-resident
anybody to
commercial.
fish in town waters who's not a town resident, commercially anyway.
So this just reinforces my question, which is, do we want there to be a new category in which people can seek that kind of permission?
Well, I don't understand who would want, what kind of commercial activity is this person engaging in? Is it
Well,
fishing?
No, he's got an aquaculture lease in Northwest
Okay.
Harbor.
But it
He's
could be
looking
open.
for a place to put his boat.
Yeah.
And the closest place would be Northwest Creek, but there's no moorings free in there. So he's asking, I guess he's asking for Three Mile Harbor, which is the next closest place.
No, I would lean towards not creating a new category per se, but maybe adding some language to non-resident to allow commercial and keep the same fee schedule for a non-resident.
I mean, you could have people coming and using this as a base of operations. Any type of fishing.
But do we want to consider setting a category for these aquaculture leases?
Well-
Because we can't control who,
That might be a more
Purchase
appropriate
of
subset of commercial.
Well, I think that would be, if we just kept the same fee schedule for non-residents that we do for recreational and put language in the non-resident permit that would also include non-resident commercial, You don't have to, you don't have to change fee schedules or create a special thing. It's just adding some additional language to the non-resident restrictions
Well, I think if
to
we
allow.
consider that, I think we should hear from the public.
Okay.
Because I think we just passed that. And we'd have to pass it in the context of applying to change the town code,
Okay.
add to the town code. And I think we would get a lot of blowback by some local commercial fishermen if we just kind of went ahead without input first.
I agree. I don't disagree. But I think the blowback would be even more significant if we adjusted a fee schedule that encouraged non-resident commercial permit holders to apply for mooring permits.
But what this guy does is not in direct competition with
No, it's
our
not.
local bank.
No, it's not.
How many more opportunities are there for commercial moorings in our area? Like, so we have one in 3 Mile Harbor, right? And are there more open moorings?
Well, most of the moorings are in Accabonac Harbor, Napeague Harbor. Most of the commercial mooring or dockings in 3 Mile Harbor are at the commercial dock.
Right,
There's probably some commercial boats over on Hands Creek.
right.
I mean, this particular person could use the launching ramp at Northwest Creek. It's a county launching ramp.
Right.
But the trustees have control of the moorings in the harbor, even though it's county-owned bottomland. There's an agreement with the county that the trustees control the moorings there. You could probably ask the town for a mooring in the bay, in Northwest Harbor somewhere, maybe very close to his site.
Yeah.
That's an option.
Because with Accabonac Harbor, I'm not sure how, with the way the sand has been accreting in the mouth of the harbor, I don't know how easy it is to get in and out if you have a larger boat.
It's a longer ways to,
Yes.
if he's over near Northwest.
For
Right.
this particular.
That's it.
For this,
That's-
yeah, but there are sites, in Gardner's Bay, off
the
Gardner's Island, and down by Devon that some future
Yeah.
person like this from out of
That's
town might
why-
want to go out of.
That's
that.
why I think it's important to set the fee schedule kind of appropriately.
Well, yeah, my understanding of what you said is this fee schedule should be the same.
Same as non-resident recreational.
So it would be because I think the fee schedule for commercial boats is not based on length of boat, whereas the recreational is. So it's a flat fee of $100 for a commercial boat, local commercial boat.
But that's only for local.
So if that's what we're going to do, and we already have a category, why do we have to have a hearing?
I would agree. I don't think we can just kind of go ahead and vote on this as
Yeah.
is.
Well, my question is, if we're going to set the fee schedule the same as the recreational, why don't they just get the recreational? We don't care what the boat
Well,
does.
that's it. We issue, there you go.
There you go, that's the
We
answer.
issue, there you go.
It's the same.
Yeah,
Sean, you've solved your own problem.
that's not my problem.
So I think if you say it's a flat fee for the commercial guys and it's by the foot for the recreational, it's a disparity.
It is a disparity.
But it's
In order to, intentional disparity to advantage the local commercial fishermen.
But he's not a commercial fisherman.
He is a commercial fisherman, but he's not an East Hampton commercial fisherman. He has a commercial license, but his residence is Long Beach. not
So
even Suffolk
that's
County.
considered to be a fisherman, like an oyster
It's a
farmer?
commercial license from the state.
Right.
I don't think he could get a East Hampton Town commercial
No,
fishing
not a resident.
license. He's not a
You know,
resident.
the argument for the lower fee schedule for resident commercial fishermen, they're already probably paying property taxes either directly or through their rents in the community. So the benefits that the town provides, they're already paying into that. Where a non-resident coming here, if we build the same way we do residents, well, that would be sort of an unfair situation to the residents because they're already paying into this.
Well, my only concern is creating a new category of non-resident commercial fishermen and setting the terms whereby they can moor. I mean, there are like policy implications down the road potentially. If we want to in any way restrict the utilization of local waters for commercial fishing, I think
These guys are farmers. They're not commercial fishermen in the sense.
Well, I think, though, that you need to be aware of sort of how that can get stretched in the future to include other kinds of fishermen. So I think we just have to be careful about creating a new category.
Well, I'm wondering though, not to belabor this, but I will. If we don't, I'm not advocating creating a new category, but if we just direct every commercial fisherman who comes to town and says, can I have a mooring, commercial mooring, I'm a commercial fisherman. Whatever I want to do, around East Hampton, I need a place to keep my boat. And we just direct them to get a recreational mooring, pay the $30 a foot. Isn't that also, encouraging commercial fishermen to come in and moor here
Can
and
we
set up
require
shop?
them to have a lease? And that's the
Well-
only exception.
I don't know. I don't know if that's like kosher, constitutional or something.
The leases are not actually in East Hampton Town, right?
But they're not
are.
fishing in
No,
East
they're not.
Hampton waters or farming in East Hampton waters. They'd be doing anything in state waters.
But there would be nothing to stop, what you're talking about,
Town,
a guy that has a commercial lobster license.
well, his
for
is
coming-
his
for
is in
coming,
waters that we
saying,
claim.
well, okay, and you probably have some guys like that, but what you typically would do there is you get a slip in a marina.
I don't know what the rules for the commercial dock are.
I don't know, but I do see a couple of those there on a routine
It would
basis.
seem, it appears that the commercial dock is limited to local.
I am assuming every boat at the commercial dock belongs to an East Hampton resident, but I'm not sure about that.
Right.
Pretty sure. But
Maybe we should table this now and come back to it at another meeting and
I
draft.
mean, I would say we direct this guy, if he wants a mooring, he can get a
Residential,
residential,
non-resident.
non-resident mooring, non-resident recreational mooring. It's $30 a foot. If you want it, you can have it. There's a provision for that.
Yeah. I don't think
The
we have to
other
change it.
thing, we're not going to, there is no provision for it. We're debating it, whether we should consider a provision for it, but it's not going to happen anytime soon for this guy.
Well, I guess it's not just a question of the fee for the mooring, it's more an issue of people coming in and doing commercial fishing in our local waters and are appearing to tacitly approve of that activity because we have a fee for out-of-town commercial fishermen.
So we
in the
don't.
category, but we don't. So what I'm saying is, I don't think we should have that. On the other hand, by sort of masking the fact that he's a commercial fisherman by giving him a residential permit, I'm not sure that's a great idea either.
Right.
Well,
But
I
I
don't-
do think that
I mean, recreational permit.
if he's out of town and he's not paying taxes like the other guys are. So, there has to be some compensation for the benefit of the resources he's getting that the locals pay for, taxation.
Well, that's why the out-of-town recreational
Right.
moorings are the price. That's why they're scheduled out at the
I
fee
don't
rate.
think we can tell somebody who comes to us and says, I'm a commercial fisherman and I would like a mooring, that he can't have one when
We have.
someone comes to us and says, I'm not a resident, can I moor my boat in your
Yeah,
harbor?
that's why I
And we
think
say,
he-
yes, we have a provision for that.
Uh-huh. I
mean,
see
what-
what you're saying.
So why don't we just let this, people use provision?
Yeah.
The
Keep it what it-
recreational
keep it
thing.
what it is and say we
What they do with the boat really is,
say we honestly do not have a non-resident commercial provision. You can get a non-resident recreational mooring and you'll pay accordingly.
I think we should also, well, I don't know if we should ask him or we should ask the town what they do at the commercial dock or in the bay. Because the town controls moorings in the bay. So I don't know what their policy
good idea.
is without, or, non-resident,
see if
resident.
they have a breakdown between commercial or recreational.
Can we accommodate him now? Because does he have a time pressing need for this?
Well, I mean, he can, as far as my understanding is he can apply, he can get a non-resident permit.
That's
to
good.
moor his boat.
Yeah, I think that's a viable short-term option, and if there needs to be a change.
I'm sure he's going to want to pay $660.
Well, that's his choice. I mean, at least he has an option.
The town does have an out-of-town use of the boat launching ramps. It's different than, everybody else can use it, so.
But how do they do that?
They give you can go buy a permit to use the launching ramps. Now, of course, the price is different than,
That's a town beach sticker, right? Basically.
Well, you
I think
need,
it's a parking
Launching
permit.
ramp. Beach sticker is good for the launching ramp? How come I only have a
you need
beach
a
sticker?
permit to use you can't, out-of-towners, I thought they could, but they can't even park there. So you need a special permit, which would be equivalent to a town permit, but it's special, it's
Non-resident.
not.
That's interesting. But so a non-resident can get a mooring.
No,
So how do they
non-resident
get
can
to the
permit to
boat?
use the launching ramp.
If they don't have
launched
this
once.
special.
Have somebody drive, you have to have somebody drive your truck and trailer away immediately.
Yeah, right.
You launch once and then,
You drive down to Liars and tuck it in down there.
Maybe somebody needs to find out from the town
Yeah.
how
You
all
guys-
these things fit together, I guess.
I gotta run, got a call. See you later. Francis, I'll see you in a month.
Yeah.
You're leaving tomorrow.
I am.
Oh,
See you in a month.
oh, month, I thought you said tomorrow. Have fun. So I think where we're at is we're going to tell this guy that he can get the non-resident recreational.
This is
Too
the
much money, he can talk to the town. More outside the harbor.
So this is a permit we give, right? This is a permit we give.
A non-residential mooring permit, correct?
Are there restrictions on it?
No.
Well, but this whole discussion we just had about use of the ramp.
So he currently has a launch ramp permit through the town, which also includes the ability to park,
Oh, he does.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
Yeah, that's
shown
part of the
us.
permit. Is you're
He
allowed
has a
to park
launch ramp
near the
permit. He
ramp.
has shown it to us, yes.
I think if he used the ramp at Northwest Creek, I don't think he'd need that.
Right.
Because it's county property.
Because the county
I
has,
don't think
county
he
probably
wants to be
has.
trailering this thing from Long Beach.
Right, I do think
every
that's the
time he
reason he's
comes out.
requesting the mooring.
he's the wrong county too. Well,
Probably not.
which is why he originally requested it in Northwest, but we can't accommodate that at all.
that's interesting. Will he be able to use the county facilities if he's not a county resident?
That's true.
Could the town,
Well, that's his
That's a
problem.
whole other
has
issue.
he seen about getting a permit from the town for gardeners, you know?
Who has he?
This commercial fisherman, seeing if he can get a mooring permit from the town
He hasn't spoken.
and for Gardeners Bay, close to where his,
I don't know. I don't know if he even knows about that. I mean, I think we should tell him he can have a non-resident recreational permit. We should probably inform him at the same time that the town may issue permits in the bay.
he might,
Already told him
he
that.
might be able to
Make it
get something
closer
near
to
Sammy's
the site.
Beach.
Who told him?
Right at the end of Alewife Brook Road, he'd be right there.
Yeah. I mean, if you could get, you know, this place to park,
He could park at Alewife Brook Road. He's got the permit for the ramp
Yeah.
and the parking already, so.
I thought that might be a better option to try and get a permit from the town for the outside waters.
Oh, that northwest wind blows.
Yeah.
So are we willing to issue him a recreational permit?
I don't see how we can't. I'd be willing regardless,
Yeah.
but I also don't see how we really.
Are there any other
deny
boats
it.
that
I
have
guess we
more?
could deny
you know,
it just on
I'm sure we have
state
boats
privilege.
on the moorings right now that have some kind of, that might be involved in commercial activity. I think our distinction is we make a distinction to help our fishermen out by charging a lower rate for fish, you know, commercial fishing moorings.
But they're local.
They're local,
Right.
yeah.
Just the complexity is he's not local.
No, but if he pay, you know, if he's paying the non-resident fee for a mooring, I mean, do we determine what you can do with the boat on your mooring?
I don't think so. I don't know, but I would say not.
Yeah, I think no. I mean, I think you could get a, you should just get a, is it a recreational mooring or is it a mooring? You know,
It's non-resident
it's a non-resident mooring permit.
recreation. Does it say recreational? Is that the word?
In our fee schedule, yes, not necessarily on the permit itself.
I don't think there's any restrictions, but, you know, like, if you get a mooring, you don't have to, you know, like, always take the family fishing, you know, you might be able to, you
I mean,
know,
here's a boat. It's not,
22 feet.
yeah, it's not.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
you
I
know,
guess in
this one
theory,
this
you
one
know,
particular person, I don't see any problems with, but it's what might come next, standing there saying,
I mean, I
hey, you
guess,
gave Joe Blow a thing, I got a 42-foot charter boat, I'd like
Well, that's why
mooring.
I'm wondering if we can't just have a policy that we only issue that permit to people who have the county lease.
what permit?
Right.
What permit?
Mooring
Resident
permit,
recreational.
non-resident recreational.
That document didn't specify recreational or commercial.
It does. If the permit, the application does.
It does.
It does?
But there is no category for non-resident
Well,
commercial.
Right.
I think the deal was,
So
we're
we can't
charging,
really
we're
do, I don't
charging,
think, what you're suggesting without creating that.
what we're basically doing is charging a certain fee for use of moorings in certain areas. What we're also doing is we have a special category for local commercial fishermen that gives them a much more attractive fee in order to encourage local fish, you know, local commercial fishing. So, I mean, if somebody's a non-resident, they should pay the pay the going rate for non-resident moorings.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah?
I think one thing we can
And what
do
they
is
do with it is what they do with
just
it.
also be somewhat vigilant. In other
Yes.
words, if someone else comes along and says, well, yes, my boat is twice as big and I'm a non-resident, et cetera, and my operations are sort of more significant, it could push us to have to really set limits.
I can see, I
limits are-
could get behind Francis's thought.
We only
in
have so many.
Creating a category allowing commercial, allowing Suffolk County aquaculture leaseholders within East Hampton's borders to get a commercial mooring permit in trustee waters at some rate that
But
we
we could make
decide.
it equivalent, we could make that rate equivalent to recreational rate.
We can make it whatever we want, but it would give us a category of commercial mooring
Well, I
for
was thinking of
out-of-town
that,
people.
like
And that
a
might help if
subcategory. Yeah,
somebody wanted to come in and, fish in state waters adjacent to East Hampton, but use East Hampton's waters to moor in. That might directly conflict with the local fishermen's
Right.
ability.
right.
It might be helpful to have a category that precludes that.
John, in this document, it says he's a shell digger. I don't know what this means.
He's got a digger's permit. It
Yeah,
says
so
a
he's got a shellfish digger,
permit.
on-off bottom culture bed permit.
Yeah, you need all those, I believe you need all those to operate an oyster aquaculture operation.
So if we assume he's going to keep all of these designations in place, and he's going to be indeed, doing what we think, then I have no problem with this. But if he could change, his activity level such that he is actually a fisherman, which he's not. I mean, to me, he's a shellfish. He's
a farmer.
cultivating. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's a something there because there's nothing preventing him from leaving the harbor, digging shellfish off Hedges Banks, tending his farm, coming back, digging some more shellfish.
But doesn't
off
he have to
Sammy's
have a
Beach, and
license
then
to do that?
He's got one.
He's got this license.
That license would cover those areas?
That's state
Yeah.
waters.
So, but if he ever changed his license, then I feel like this is consistent with what we expect, right?
See, the problem I have is we can probably expect more of these as the county's,
Yes.
selling off more and more of these operations. We're going to have more requests.
Right.
So I think if we direct some kind of designation specifically for those leases and nothing else.
Correct.
I mean, if they get caught
Well, there's
somewhere else, I don't know.
They're not going to get, they're not doing anything illegal if they
Right.
decide
No,
to dig clams.
right.
They're just going to anger the local.
Right, right.
But they could do that anyway. They could motor up here from Long
Right,
Beach and
right,
dig clams. There's
right.
nothing, and they do. I mean, people
They do.
come from Greenport all the time.
Cigarettes. Well,
I would like to entertain the idea of allowing this guy to get the recreational non-resident mooring for this year. And then we continue this conversation
That's a good
for
solution.
next year.
That's a good solution.
And coordinate with the town on
Yeah,
what they're doing.
but the notion that we would get additional requests as this activity becomes more pervasive in our area, we have a limited number of moorings. So that's going to be where we top out.
you can only do what we can do.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of moorings. There's a lot of moorings.
I know there are, yeah. There are a lot.
I mean, well,
There are a lot, and then it's not like we're gonna run out tomorrow, but they might not be where the guys want them to be. And
All right, is this something we have to vote on?
Did you?
I don't think so either.
Oh, okay.
So, do you understand that?
Yes, so you all would like to provide him with a non-resident recreational permit for this year, and then continue the discussion for the future about whether or not a new category would be created
Right,
and what to do in the
and-
future.
If you're going to be speaking with him, you might advise him to check with the town
Yes.
clerk to see what's available through the town. He may be able to get something more reasonable.
True. My other question for you would be that we had him originally complete the commercial mooring permit application. Should we have him complete the recreational, or is it sufficient in your eyes that I just cross out the commercial and write that it's recreational? How would you like to proceed with that part? Does it, or does it matter? But I mean, I think we need to identify that it's the recreational, but how would you like me to identify?
Well, somebody has to sign off on it anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you can just cross it out.
Okay,
Imagine something,
okay.
initial all across. Are we good with that legally?
Sounds good. Cross out, no
Yeah,
way.
you're sitting in tonight.
Yes, no, I crossed out an
Exactly.
All right, let's move on. I don't see any old business, committee reports. We need to approve a purchase to restock trustee shellfish bags. The estimated cost, I think that we normally have to buy 5,000, but they're willing to sell us 3,000. It's a $400 one-time fee for a printing plate, which I understand they've agreed to keep
Yes,
for
they will
us.
keep them.
So it doesn't, we don't have to have a new one made each time. So it'd be $400 plus $2,785. We don't pay tax.
We don't pay sales tax, and they're gonna include the shipping. It'll be priced to the door, so that's.
Does everybody go with that?
yes, yeah.
Next, we have payment of the bills. East Hampton Marina, $140 for fuel. Montauk Marine Basin, $789.17 for fuel. Norwalkie Smith, $10,000 for the 2024 audit. Riverhead Building Supply, $9.78. Seacoast Associates, $77.78 for pump outboard supplies.
I have a question about the audit. Is that the total amount, or did we also pay them an earlier amount?
No, that was last year's that we paid in this year, I think.
It's the full,
For the-
that's the full fee for 2024?
This will be the full fee for the whole year, yes.
Have we
We paid the
received it?
previous
Have we
year
received the audit?
No.
Well, once we
sometimes they
receive it, we'll
send
pay
To
them.
the town
Yeah,
first.
I-
I think they finished it probably. I'll email them tomorrow.
When we receive it, we'll pay them.
Okay,
So
You
that's,
got it.
that one's gonna be on hold.
can I use those words? Yep,
So I'll make a motion, we pay the bills and hold off on the Rocky Smith.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay. Anybody have anything else you want to discuss?
I got a list.
You do?
You have something?
Just curious, what happened with the fireworks display at 3 Mile Harbor?
I don't know, did it go off?
It went
I don't
off.
know.
No, it
Cloudy. They went off in the clouds.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
went off.
So
I could hear them.
I couldn't hear them.
my dogs didn't even react, so I figured it didn't
It
happen.
was pretty foggy.
I took a look like an hour before they shot them off. And it looked, the crowd looked very small.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of boats in the harbor.
Yeah,
Hardly any boats and
Uh,
places to park.
I contacted Chris Gobler. If you remember last year, Biddle Duke came to a meeting and was concerned about the fireworks. And at the time, we had talked about maybe doing some sampling around the fireworks. And I forgot all about it. I bumped into him a week and a half or so ago, and he reminded me of that. So I contacted Chris Gobler, and was able to, at least they said they were going to sample Friday before the fireworks
Right.
and today. So we'll get some, water quality data bookending the fireworks to see if,
Do you know what they're sampling for?
well, fecal coliforms will be what we're really looking for, but I think they're gonna just do all their, whatever they do otherwise.
So did we have our pump out boat there?
I believe that
Yeah,
they are.
I'm sure the pump-out boats roll.
So I wonder if it was help, did that work? Did that help? Were people using the pump out boat?
They're there every year. I don't even know what kind of usage they
Yeah.
get, and you can't depend on everybody making the call. So,
No, okay. Can I take one more thing for your list? On Wednesday, there's a meeting at Suffolk County Community College. DEP is presenting this Bay Scallop Symposium. And I think we all were invited. It starts early.
That's one thing on my list.
Okay, you want to, okay.
Yeah, Peconic Estuary Bay Scallop Symposium, July 16th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The introduction by DC Director of Marine Resources to the history of Bay Scallop fishery by Dr. Steve Kettleback. Updates from the Marine Disease Laboratory by Dr. Bassam Alam. And then a panel discussion with Harrison Toby from Cornell Cooperative Extension, Ed Warner from Southampton Trustees, Debbie Barnes, DEC Shellfish Chief, and Dr. Stephen Heck from the Peterson Lab, Stony Brook. I believe they want you to register for this, so if anybody wants to go, they should go to the Peconic Estuary or the Sea Grant website and find this Peconic Estuary Bay Scallop Symposium, and there's
If anyone
directions to
wants it,
register.
I have it. I have the registration form. I'd be happy to share it. I registered for it. Are you going to go?
I registered.
Yeah.
Still
It's really early.
waiting. It's long, too.
Steve Kettlebaum is a really interesting speaker, and he spoke 2 times during COVID. He spoke to the Aquabonic Protection Committee. He knows a lot, so it's worth.
Bassam Alam has done all the disease work on shellfish for many years. So
Yeah.
he's up to date on probably what the big main problems are with the scallops, disease-wise.
doing lunch.
No boat ride.
So keeping with the PEP meeting theme, is a meeting in Ashawag Hall. PEP, Peconic Estuary Partnership, you're invited, help shape the future of Peconic Estuary. Invite you to join an upcoming public meeting to share your perspectives, ideas, and priorities for the future of the Peconic Estuary. Important opportunity for residents, organizations, stakeholders to help guide how PEP engages the community and advances its mission, protect and restore the estuary. Feedback will help us understand what works best to connect with the public and build meaningful partnerships. So that meeting is next Monday, July 21st at Ashawag Hall at 6 o'clock. And I believe they want you to register for that as well. So again, go to the EP website, register for that.
That one's going to be pretty good, I think. I mean, I'm glad they got Ashwell Hall. That was the constraint. There were 4 of these meetings. different geographies, and ours got kind of pushed to the end because the location is problematic.
Okay, so we did mosquito sampling today. Actually, the full moon was Thursday. We sample around the full and new moon, which are the highest tides, and the marshes would flood and promote breeding mosquito larvae, creation of mosquito larvae. We sampled after this full moon, there was some sampling done Friday, some sampling done this morning. There was a lot of dry parts of the marsh that didn't show any breeding. There were some breeding pools farther down in the marsh that had either very small or very large mosquitoes in them, depending on the pool that was sampled. I don't believe the county is going to treat the marsh in this moon cycle.
They sent out the spray schedule, and Acabonic is not on it.
We sent the spray schedule out before I submitted my data, so.
Really? When
I
did you?
think I submitted my data about noontime, and I think that the schedule came in before that.
Well, they left it blanks. Maybe they're going to go back and populate it with your results.
I think if they don't treat, they'll probably just leave it alone. If they treat, they'll probably come out with an amended schedule. And in communication I had with the county today, he wasn't sure how helicopter flights would work this week. Apparently there's some weather possibly coming, so that might affect how much the helicopter can go out. So we also got some more blue-green algae counts in. Can you put that up, Allison? Blue-green algae. There was blue-green algae. Actually, Wainscott Pond wasn't that bad. It came down a little bit. It's still, high, but it come down a little bit. But there was blue-green algae found in both Pond Lane Pond and Swan Pond as well. So the table is readings for Wainscott, Pond Lane Pond, or Swan Pond. Pond Lane Pond and Swan Pond were, in the 30 and 45 micrograms per liter category, still, fairly low, but high enough to exceed the threshold of 25 micrograms per liter. And Wainscott Pond came down to 285 from 303 last time. So that graph is on the bottom is the Wainscott Pond graph. So it hasn't spiked up yet. And I think it spiked up by this time last year. So hopefully it'll stay on that trajectory and we won't see a spike.
You got some rain and hot weather coming.
Yeah. So we get these readings every week. So be able to add to this next meeting too. Okay, that's that. Let's see, Forstead meeting. There's a meeting in Montauk related to the Sunrise Wind Farm. I believe it has to do with the cable landing. It's this Friday, July 18th, from 4 to 7 at 478 Westlake Drive, which I believe is the Duryea building next, across the street from the Dock Restaurant, or it used to be the Duryea building. It's not still. So, see, Julia Prince emailed me about this, I'll read it. It says, we're having one of our required Article 7 PM and CP meetings for state water activities at the Sunrise Wind landfall. So this is similar to what we dealt with the cable landing coming into state waters and Beach Lane. Sunrise Wind landfall is located at Smith Point Park in Brookhaven. The advertisement was posted in several newspapers, online fisheries magazines. Sunrise Wind, 924 megawatt offshore wind farm sited 30 miles off the coast of Montauk Point, is planning to commence construction activities to install the export cable in New York State waters in mid-November. There's information that you can receive about the planned construction activities. Sunrise Wind invites interested parties to attend the Mariners Open House Friday, 478 Westlake Drive. Regular construction updates can be found on the project's website, sunrisewindny.com.
Is that an Orsted project?
It's an Orsted project, yes.
And they want to land it where? Smithtown?
Smith,
It's the one that's going into Brookhaven.
it's going to Brooklyn.
That's the one that they gave out the permits and then they canceled the permits and they're giving them back out again.
That was, yeah, that was, right, that was the administration took that off the table for a while. But this might be of interest to, East Hampton fishermen who fish in the ocean.
Yeah, and I'm sure that,
And I believe that there are similar research projects going on with that cable
Yeah.
to the ones we've got off Beach Lane.
yeah, that seems to be just like the one we wound up going through all the connections there and got all, they're copying what we did pretty much.
Yeah, I have no idea what the,
It is a bigger project, slightly bigger. It's a bigger project. It's going to land in Brookhaven. They're all, everybody, Brookhaven's seriously in favor of it.
they've already negotiated it.
I believe it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's, it seemed to be all permitted. And they were going to start, then it got pulled back, then it got re-permit, got to go ahead again. I'm sure, you're going to get the same level of opposition, from all the interested groups. And you're going to get the level of support from all the interested groups.
We're not involved with it.
When I read about that,
Brookhaven at one point had a dong and pat. They're a dong and pat in town, but the trustee powers in Brookhaven sit with the town board now.
Consolidated.
They actually meet as, if there's a trustee matter, they meet as a board of trustees.
I think Huntington does the same
Yes.
thing.
Everything from like Oyster Bay out was dong and pat.
Right. So finally, can you put up that Perfect Earth, whatever it is,
Say that one more time?
Living
Yes.
Lands, Long Island project. So the Perfect Earth project, Edwina Von Gaal's company, got a grant, I believe it was a PEP grant, to called the Living Lands Long Island. And what they're going to do is you can sign up for this. Individual property owners can sign up for this, and they get a free visit from one of the Perfect Earth Project staff people. They'll do a personalized site assessment report with recommendations for implementing nature-based practices for your landscaping. And they'll do seasonal check-ins and access to Perfect Earth's online resources. And then as part of this, you can also, sign up for additional work from them on a fee basis. But there's the initial free site visit might be something that property owners would benefit taking advantage of. These are
I think it's a great idea, because so many people don't have the horticultural knowledge to know what's possible and what alternatives are. And when someone explains it to them, it's easier for them to proceed.
Right.
It's daunting when you start out.
By the way, this group is going to be presenting this Thursday at 5:30 at the Shelter Island Presbyterian Church. There's going to be a whole water quality seminar with a whole bunch of nonprofits.
When is this?
It's this coming Thursday at 5:30
Oh,
at the Shelter Island Presbyterian Church. And a whole group of nonprofits are going to be participating.
I'm going to go to that. There you go.
So all these, less invasive landscape practices are directly beneficial to our harbors.
They do, yeah. We receive the bad stuff into the water, especially when there's irrigation and pesticides and fertilizers and irrigation, and it goes right downhill.
So every little bit helps.
Yep, absolutely. What you do on your property matters.
By the way, Perfect Earth is a nonprofit. It's a 501c3.
Yes.
Anybody have anything else? Who would like to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn. I second.
Did you second it?
Okay, thank you.
You just say that one.